Yo, 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 yo. A little bit late. Just a little bit late. But I have a good excuse. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. Not in the usual fit. Whoop. I had something playing. My bad. Not in the usual fish room environment. Not quite. But I still have some fish room scenes, content, things to talk about. I'm on the road. But obviously have some things to update people on. Let me pull up the chat because I haven't even gotten that working yet. What is up, fellow fish people? Hey, Koi Pit, how's it going? SVC 570. What's up? Hey, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me fish it up in here real quick because this scenery is just not. It really doesn't hit the same without some kind of nature-y fish-related background. Like, so let me find. I gotta find something appropriate as I tell my story here. So the title, I didn't. It's not clickbait. This is a true story that I'm gonna talk about. And I actually was late because I was out looking to find some isopods, and I found some, and I have photos of them, videos of them in their natural environment. So that will be my treat for suffering through the story. Jody P, how's it going? How is it going? So I am an idiot. Let's just get it out the way, the truth out the way. Okay? I'm an idiot. I've never claimed to be some kind of super genius. You know, I've always said that I reserve the right to be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong. And definitely that is something I experienced in a big way on Wednesday. What's up, Jorge? Jorge, how's it going? Ty, Nick, Andre, Jorge, SVC. Jody's got all the names like locked in the lockbox of memory. I have terrible memory for names. So I was sitting in my house, 7:30 a.m. Electrical workers come into the house. I can't get anything done. I can't do any stuff of my work stuff on my computer. I can't get anything done in the fish room because the electrical work is like going on in there. I'm like kind of in a bad mood. I'm frustrated. I'm like, this is like killing me. I'm someone that like, especially when it comes to like the fish stuff. Like if I want to do a fish thing in between a task or whatever, like the conditions have to be right. It's just so hard for me to get stuff done when there's people in my space, especially in kind of the fish space where that's usually the place where you go to not be bothered by anyone. So I'm like, hey, it's early. I can get a head start on some work stuff. Work in the car and the laptop and like drive to some places, look for some isopods, right? I've been meaning to up my nature collection game, so why not go look for some isopods? So that's what I do. And there's so many decisions that would have helped me avoid tragedy. Like if I'd gone to a different location, if I decided to turn back, if someone had called me when I texted them to get their opinion, like all this kind of stuff. And I was indecisive, but eventually I picked a location. So this wasn't like a iNaturalist. Oh, someone's collected isopods there. I'm gonna go and see if I can also find them. This was like me looking at the landscape around me and kind of theorizing. Okay, this is the kind of isopod I want to find. What environment do they like? Where should I look to kind of make my own little observation on iNaturalist or something like that, you know? And so I looked up a spring near me. What would life be like without an adventure? I mean, exactly. So I looked up a spring near me because I figured, yeah, they seem to be kind of hang out around springs, stuff like that. You know, the spring would be running down, maybe collect somewhere into like a more pooling, slower area. So I go up to the spring. I've never been there before. And in all these stories, you know, I'm going to keep, like, anyone that is familiar with the area or where I'm at probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say, like, exact locations because I don't want to encourage, like, people to go to any particular place. But I drive up and it's like windy roads, kind of mountainous, you know, and there's not like parking or anything, but I see like this pipe coming out of a rock in the hill and water's coming out of it, and people are pulling up to it with the big jugs like that they have in the water cooler type scenario and filling them up with this spring water, I guess, to take home to drink. But I never seen like in person before. Like I knew that was a thing, but like it was just kind of a crazy concept. Like it was like everyone was pulling up to this to get this spring water, and it's just like a pipe coming out of some, you know, dirty dirty hill, you know, and stuff like that. So I'm there. I like make small talk with some of the people, kind of asking questions like, you know, hey, I like the water's coming out of the pipe. It's like running down. Do you know anything about where it's running down to? And I'm thinking, this is great. I'm going to find some isopods for sure today. And actually, I think I have. So I have some video that I'd like sent to people, but because my hands were full most of the time, like I mostly just took photos, and then like I have nothing from the trip because it was on my phone, which is gone. But like here is, I have a video of the pipe with the spring water. 1 second, just so you can kind of visualize at least this part. Because the rest of it is, we're not gonna be able to view. My phone is like feet deep under quick mud, and will never be found again. I didn't even try to find it when everything went down, because I already knew. So give me 1 moment. I'm going to pull up this video here so you can kind of see where it all began. And if anyone has actually filled up a jug with spring water, let me know, because now I kind of understand this is a thing, but it's kind of all new to me. But okay, here we go. Here's the video. And why is that sideways? Okay. This is the one I'm looking for. So here you go. This is the pipe that the spring water was coming out of. And underneath the pipe was like a bucket just for it to land in. And then it kind of flew down into a drain, which drained it underneath the road and through a big pipe, which let it out later on. So I find this pipe, and I get to where it's letting out, and it's like rocky, streamy, very steep all the way down. And I didn't like prepare because this was like a split decision. So I have like no real tools. I have like a jar. I got like my headlamp, and I'm wearing a hoodie. I got my phone. Like that's about it. I don't got like tweezers or anything like that. I'm just like, I'm using sticks. So I'm like going through all the thorny bushes, jumping across the streams, because you know it's like all the ones that have that drop off, you know. And I've been out there for like an hour 15. I'm listening to Fishery in my left AirPod. I have one AirPod in. I'm listening to Fishery. Like this is a vibe, bro. I'm looking for aquatic isopods, listening to Fishery, his last live stream. I'm jumping across. I'm going down, and I'm turning over rocks. I'm not finding any isopods. I'm not even finding scuds. Like, bro, I'm dying. There's lots of like fly larvae, like kind of like the predatory little things that we avoid in our fish tanks. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, maybe this water is like too fast flowing for the aquatic isopods. Like maybe I really need to go all the way down, follow where the spring is running to, like to where it's calmer, because I'm looking at the everything I've been finding, and it's like really clean water, but there's all these isopod predators, I think, and also the water's going really fast, and I'm not finding any isopods. I'm not finding any scuds, so I'm kind of like, okay, I gotta follow the stream all the way down to where it gets calm. The problem is that it's like a steep incline, and I can tell I gotta I got a ways to go. So I'm kind of like reaching this decision point. Like, do I commit to continuing to like get thorns tearing up my body? And all I got is a stick. I was trying to carry stuff in a paper bag for some reason, which of course ripped. So like I'm like losing stuff. I like got a magnifying glass that I keep having to put down. Like, but I decided to go on deeper into the woods and follow the stream. And long story short, I come up to this flat ground finally after all these hills and all this jumping across, you know, little gaps in the little stream. I finally reach flat ground, and I don't have a picture of it, of course, but it's kind of like long grass, a lot of long grass, kind of like, but like tramped down. It's like dead. Very muddy. It looks like shallow water, like kind of like a swampy, marshy area. And I do see a place where the water's pooling. I see the leaves and stuff, and I'm like, literally for me, it's like the promised land. Like you ever watched? I think it's Land Before Time or some dinosaur movie where they like gotta go find like the safe place with water and stuff. It's kind of like that. I was so confident I was about to find isopods there, and I kind of see the area directly in front of me is leaves, wet, lots of places to hide. It's kind of shallowish, and I'm about to get my one jar that I had to put a sample in. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to get one sample from this whole thing, I may as well. And you have to remember, I'm like still kind of dealing with my germaphobness, so I'm like wearing gloves. Kind of thin gloves. I'm wearing gloves. Like that's another aspect is I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? Every time like there's a loud noise, I'm like, what was that? What was that? Is this like did I just step on a hive of underground bees that are gonna slaughter me? Like at one point, I was like, I was like walking on a log to like get over because it fallen over between the water to get on the Littlefoot Nick. Exactly. Exactly. I loved Land for a time, but I'm like walking on the log because it'd fallen across perfectly like a bridge, and I'm just about like in the middle, and I almost fall off because all of a sudden this huge rustling noise right next to me. I'm like, ah! It was a rabbit. It was a rabbit. So like that's like context to my disposition. So I'm like, if I'm gonna get, did I find a tree star? I wasn't looking. I wasn't. I should have looked for a tree star. Um, they're probably out there. I think that I did post photos of some plants that I took pictures of from my trip. The sad thing is like some of the stuff never sent. So like there's some text and stuff I know I sent but it never delivered, and it's kind of like sad because I'm like, man, if I were to, this would have been my last trip. I would have sent out a call for help. No one would ever know where I was. Kind of like I don't think I told anyone exactly where I was, which is the first lesson from this cautionary tale. Tell people where you are when you're doing this stuff. Share your location. Here's one photo I took because it was of some like marshy plants that were there. This isn't like the promised land location. This is earlier on, but just to give you an idea, some of the landscape I was seeing. But anyways, so I'm like, if I'm gonna get one sample, I want it to have the best possible chance of it having some isopods. So I see further out where the water's really pooling, and it's kind of, I had to go past kind of like that grass and like muddy area, and I'm like, okay, I take like one step towards the edge, and instantly I'm almost waist deep in this like silty mud situation. Which I put in the title Quicksand because I was reading what quicksand is, and I was like, oh, I like this was actually like pretty much quicksand because it's like, sediment, like loose sediment. There was like a lot of like flecks and stuff in the water, like the spring waters. There's like a lot of loose sediment that had come down. It is at the bottom where all the water was washing and stuff. So it's kind of like this sandy, muddy mix. So, who knew that forms of quicksand like things were actually not just in some remote desert where Indiana Jones is. But anyways, I'm immediately like, it's almost like the ground wasn't there. Forget the wildlife, I would fear any banjo music, bro. Well, anyways, it's almost like the sand, it wasn't like the ground wasn't there. I'm instantly like, well, at first I was more like knee deep, and like my first little movement after it kind of sucked me down, pause, was it got me like almost to waist deep. Now, as dumb as I am, yo, what's up? Just one more fish. Hopefully, I'll see you. I'm hoping to make it tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll see you guys. I'm sure you got a lot of bagging to do. I'm sure you got a lot of. If you have a stock list for tomorrow, let me know. I want to take. Hopefully, they'll let me take some photos and videos of the event so I can talk about it and share. Um. Anyways, the only little movement I made after I fell into the quicksand like sunk me like another like 8 inches, like almost to my waist. But as dumb as I am, the one thing that I do have is a very quick reaction time. So like when I took the step down and I fell, it could have been a lot worse because I could have, you know, tripped and fallen forward deeper. I could have panicked and moved around, which would have made me sink deeper. But I actually caught myself. So like I caught myself like this uh when I fell initially on the solid ground in front of me. As soon as I started falling, I actually turned around almost so I could land on the solid ground. And then I just had to basically pull myself out, which it was like kind of a process to get myself out of the mud. But like, luckily, I didn't like go that deep, so it wasn't hard. But I can imagine if I was someone that panicked more, if I was like a little less out of shape, then that could have been a lot more of a difficult situation to get out of. But luckily, you know, I landed with a grip on solid ground, so I could pull myself out, and I was able to do that. But when I initially sink into the quicksand, remember in my headphone, I'm listening to Fishery, his last stream. So I pull myself out after a bit, and I'm like kind of standing there collecting myself, and I notice my Bluetooth connection is like getting spotty, and my brain immediately, I'm like, well, there's only one reason why my Bluetooth connection would be getting less strong right now. And the moment I think that, I hear the AirPod little boo boo of it losing connection, and I don't even turn around to look for my phone. I already know, I know it's gone because it was in my hoodie front pocket. So when I fell into the quicksand, uh, it probably easily would have tumbled out. Yeah, always share your location. Definitely. Yeah, I should have shared my location. How's what go again, Jody? Um, yeah, it probably tumbled out when I fell, and it's the quicksand. So the moment that it hit it, my phone immediately, sunk because that's how it works. It definitely would have been heavy enough to just sink down just like I did when I hit it. So just a few seconds after I got myself out of the quicksand, yeah, I'm hearing Alex talking in my ear, and the connections gate spotty. I'm like, damn, I dropped my phone in the quicksand, didn't I? And then I hear the boop 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 of my headphones disconnecting. Yeah, that's the airport. That's the AirPod noise. Boop 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 boop. It's like that. It was like a comedy, honestly. It really was. And this was like the worst day. I was in a terrible mood. That's why I was doing this. So it's been like the worst last few days ever. And now I don't have a phone. So I was in this like silty, muddy thing almost up to my waist. So my pants are totally caked. My phone's gone. I've lost a bunch of my stuff. Like I'm contributing to the trash in the area. I dropped it, and stuff is ripping. So now I'm running back to my car through the whole way that I went. Uh, just goes to show that you can have a bad day. There's always a chance it could be worse. Exactly. So like again, I'm not good with directions at all. I'm horrible with directions. I use the GPS everywhere. Even if somewhere's like 10 minutes from my house, I still put the GPS on. So like I'm running back to my car, my pants are fucking demolished, and my thought is like, yo, how like what is my move from here? Like I'm kind of like I'm a little bit just like I'm not even like, oh, my phone is like I'm more just like accepting like this is kind of what I expect out of life at this point. Like, of course, I'm having a bad day, so I say, let's go finally look for some isopods, and I lose my phone that I think it's like a year old at most, but it's a new phone. I think it's like, so I get to the car. I'm like, I can't wear my pants in the car. Like, I can't sit down with this muddy thing. Now, luckily, I had three 20-gallon longs in my car. Don't ask why, but I did. So, and usually I keep spare clothes in my car just in case. It's just kind of a habit because I used to just spontaneously, be out and about, and end up not being able to get home. So I take my pants off. I just like at the side of the road, like I'm pulled off in like a little service thing on the side of the road, and there's a car that's parked there. It's like really tinted, so I assume someone's like smoking, which that just turned out to what it was. But I don't take my pants off before I go over there. I go over there, ask to use their phone. I call my mom. She doesn't answer. I leave a voicemail. I like get the guy's phone back. I walk to the car. He drives off. He clearly wants nothing to do with the situation, at all. As a mom and a grandmother, I'm having kittens, as we say in England. I'm having kittens. That's a new one. That's a new phrase to me. Okay, hey guys, you just got a new phrase. I'm having kittens. Um, so I get to my car. I'm like, all right, take my shoes off. I don't know why I wore like white shoes. Again, I don't want to answer this kind of questions. Take my shoes off. Take my socks off. They're caked in nastiness. It smells horrible, by the way. It's not just like gross as in like mud. Like it smells horrendous. Um, take my pants off. So I'm sitting in my car in my underwear. I get my hoodie that kind of put over my lap just in case someone with a taller collar looks in and they're not like, yo, what the. Um, and I'm kind of looking through, but I got no pants in my car. Like I usually have pants in my car. I got no pants. So, my thing was I'll go into a building that has Wi Fi and I have my laptop with me. So I'll just be able to use my laptop and I'll like get directions to get home and just have them, open on my laptop and sup nudist dick. Yo, fuck you, bro. I'm not nudist dick. So crazy. Uh, but again, I don't know where I'm at. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, so I, I sent my mom a voicemail, but the guy immediately left. He didn't want to help me at all. And my mom actually, I found out later, did call him back, And he was like, "What? Nicholas who?" So like the guy was like a total asshole. Like he totally left me out to dry. He didn't tell her where I was or anything like that. Would you call it back? She thought it was some kind of AI scam. I kid you not. So I'm glad I made the decisions I did because my mom legitimately from that voicemail she didn't even believe that it was me or anything wrong was going on. So I was kind of concerned the whole time that like, oh, people are gonna be like, oh, Nicholas, like, where is he? Like, maybe I shouldn't leave the location because they're gonna come here. But no, no one gave a shit. No one was concerned. So it's good that I took matters into my own hands. I'm also like impatient and I get bored easily. So like about 3 minutes of staying in my car, I'm like, all right, fuck this. So I drive out this winding road, and I'm gonna find civilization, and I do find like a little strip mall type thing of stores, but the problem is I see the Wi-Fi, I see guest. It's like a restaurant. I'm like perfect. I park outside. I'm about to hit up the restaurant Wi-Fi, and it's like password. Just talk to the cashier for the Wi-Fi password. Well, I'm not about to walk in there in my fucking underwear and ask the cashier for the Wi-Fi password. Like that's not an option. So like I drive around, it's like the same thing. Like I can't get a Wi-Fi from my car. It's all situations where I'd have to go inside in order to get Wi-Fi, and I'm in my underwear. So I decide me, who does no sense of direction, is going to drive home somehow. And you know what, guys? It turns out that the signs on the road actually tell you how to get places. I was amazed. I've never read the signs on the road really before. I just followed the GPS. Bro, I made it home just fine. I didn't make a single wrong turn. It was great. I drove like an hour to get home. I made it home fine with no directions. It's like, oh, the sign just tells me where to go. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Pants are optional. Yeah, it's a different kind of. I'm not going to that establishment. I'm not going to that establishment. So I made it home. Uh, I put all my contaminated stuff in those 20 longs. The sample didn't have anything interesting in it at all. So it was a total wash. I'm out of iPhone 15 Pro. No isopods. And it was pretty horrendous. I just kind of like laid down and took a nap after a very long shower. Very long shower. And it was pretty depressing. Uh I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty terrible. But since then, I have gone on more expeditions in better planned, more accessible locations, and I am happy to report that without a phone, I have found some isopods in the wild. Not only that, I have photos and video of their environment and them in the environment. This is like some exclusive stuff. I feel like you won't see just anywhere. But that's why we're here, because we want the cool shit, the forefront of the isopod agenda. And I sell like 1,000 more isopods. Maybe I can buy an iPhone 5C. But let me see if I could pull up some footage. I'm out in Pennsylvania right now because, well, you don't need to know why. But tomorrow I am hoping to go to the ALC swamp. See, I know you're from the UK, but telling someone bless you here is a little bit of an insult sometimes. That's kind of like, oh, bless you. You're a fucking dumbass. um, Let me see if I can pull up some of what I have found recently. And that is why I was late, because I found some isopods, some wild North American native isopods, and I was filming. And that is why I was late. That's bless your heart. I mean, if you want to be technical, but I've heard it both ways. I've heard it both ways. Don't try and gatekeep. Correct me. I'm sensitive right now. Oh my god. Okay. I gotta pull up Adobe and see if I can run myself some footage. Isopod adventure. And I learned a couple of really interesting things on this expedition. And definitely there's gonna be a video. I think I'm gonna do a series about North American freshwater isopods, and I'll kind of go find them, film them, and then I'll try to identify them and just document the whole process and talk about it. And I think that'll be something really cool. I'm hoping it'll be useful to people and that it'll kind of provide some value. Some value for the people that suffer through listening to me yap on the regular. You got to give back somehow. But okay, here we go. But bam. This is. I'm pulling it up. Here we go. And let me get rid of this. And let me put myself up here. All right. So. It's kind of pointy, isn't it? Bless your soul, Dick. Oh my god. I'm giving back. Yeah, okay. Bro, you only watch the streams just to bully me in that chat. It's so wild. But okay. Let me turn off the sound. We don't need the sound. So here's some footage from a place I was looking for isopods at. And actually it's so shaky because I just started filming. And the first rock I turned over. So think about this. I went on a whole hours long expedition, didn't find shit, lost my phone. I go out the other day, the first rock I turn over, I find a fucking isopod. I was so pissed, bro. I was so pissed. I was so pissed. And it was like a couple feet from a parking lot, bro. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I couldn't believe it. It's literally the first rock I turned over. I didn't even have to sacrifice a phone. Like, so that little thing here, and this is an isopod right there. No cap. That is an isopod. Genuine North American freshwater isopod. I turned over one rock and immediately spotted that. And then, of course, the footage isn't that great because I'm like trying to take a closer look at it. But all right, so I'm on the right track. We're just gonna keep skipping until I find footage that's actually viewable. But you can kind of see the environment. This is like in a pretty fast moving. I give useful tips. Yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna read the rest. Don't take it the wrong way. I mean, God bless you. Well, he ain't doing that either. But okay. So this is like the beach-ish. I'm gonna call it a beach. The side of the water I found them in, and it was like a little stream that goes into a river, and it's relatively fast moving. The water looked pretty clear, silty at the bottom, again very rocky with some leaves collecting at the side. And I found some isopods literally right in the side in an area like this, although I didn't. Later on you'll see where I really found a lot of them. NPC Nick. Oh my god, bro. I'm not that dumb. Come on, bro. There's no way. A lot of things like places like this, like I would find one every now and then, but there wasn't a ton of isopods in these sections. So here is one that I just kind of put into a little container just so I could film it. And you're looking at one of the few 2025 footage of an aquatic isopod from the wild. So you'll see they look pretty wild. like that. Your the endopod, like kind of fuzzy. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Not that much. We can't even see anything. I have better footage of other stuff later on, but just so you can see it's like a little fuzzy. Definitely different than the ones that I have. And as far as like their legs, you can see they have like the longer middle and back pair of legs. And the head shape is definitely questionable. I'm curious to get a better picture of them. One day I'll catch one and put it under a microscope or something. Story time with Nick. You should go on a weekly adventures. Very entertaining, bro. This was too. It's got to be a cheaper adventure. I can't lose a phone every week for your entertainment. Okay. No, if it's fish related, if it's fish or isopod or hobby, if it's hobby related, sure, I could see that. Like if I can film some stuff at the swap tomorrow, maybe I'll go live and talk about it and just show people what's there. Just if they've never been to those kind of things, it would be cool. Just kind of highlight some businesses. But this is more footage of the water where I was. So you can see it's definitely not like just some still thing of water. And what's different from where, oh, you can see some nice little aquatic green action going on here. Agree, Jody P. NPC Nick versus the wild. Yo, we are not making NPC Nick a thing. This is so fucking insulting. So the difference though between this, like the water's like kind of moving or whatever. I did not see any scuds or anything when I was in that other place. In this place, there were scuds everywhere. Every rock I touched, even the places where I didn't find isopods, like there are scuds, and I'm just filming this to show like it's a lot of like steep drop offs of rock on the side, into the waterway. This is some. Does anyone know what the hell this thing is? Please, if you know what this is, let me know. So in the middle of this stick, I don't know if you could see, but that's some kind of. I've never seen this before. Like, look at that thing, bro. It's terrifying. You can see it's got some like eggs underneath it. So I thought, like, is that another one of those larvae or something? But if it's got eggs on it, then this is like its final form, right? Like, bro, what the hell is this thing? I was terrified. Salient Aquatics in my tanks. What's up? Live liked. Appreciate the like, my friend. Jody Motherfin. L to the P. It's Friday. It is. Happy Friday. Salient. Oh my god, bro. I'm getting shivers just look like, bro, this is so, oh my god, it's so gross. I'm not cut out for this, guys. Look at that thing. What the hell is it? Someone tell me what this is. Just watching how it crawls. So like when I move this stick around, like it would just keep crawling around and around and around and around. And it looked gross and terrifying each time that it did it. Every single time. I have no idea what the hell that thing is. But I have no interest in it ending up in my tank. Okay. It's not going in my tank. It's not going in my tanks, that's for sure. Okay, here's a bit of a better shot of it. So it's kind of got an interesting pattern to it. It's kind of like black and yellow, orange. And the 3 antennas, like, so weird looking. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe the front of it, I guess the front of it might be on the right. Probably. So maybe it is one of those fly larva things. I don't know. But it's terrifying either way. It's larval. Looks like dragonfly larva. What's with the egg stuff? Egg sac looking thing underneath it then, though. That's what was confusing me. I don't know if I get another shot of it. So, okay. So this is an isopod I saw just on a rock underwater on the side. And look at that, man. Look at that. So it's definitely a lot fuzzier than the isopods that I have. You can see it's got cool, like, thick Europods at the end here. Over here, I think this is just like the silt and stuff that's on it. And you can see it was just on the edge of this rock. And look at it go. So, oh, I totally missed it, but is that a baby one right there? I don't think I saw that when I was... That looks like a baby isopod right there. That's awesome. Look at that. Who would have freaking thought? Okay, let me fit it back. Yo, this is exciting. I hope you guys are... I hope that isopod agenda people... I had to delete it, set my phone to listen twice. I'm beginning to think you hate me. Oh my god. What are people beefing? What's up, Steve? What's up, Steve? At least it's not sliding. Yeah. I found this. This is another rock I overturned, and I found an isopod. And for the isopod agenda experts, you can tell this is a gravid female. And I will say, I think I don't know if I didn't find any isopods that I could for sure tell if they were male, because these isopods were different enough from my own. Like, I just really couldn't tell. But there was a lot of gravid females out there when I was looking. A lot. Like, they were huge. So I think I might be picking the perfect time to go try and document some of them, because a lot of them were carrying eggs and looked like they were well along the way to hatching some. So again, this is just more of kind of the environment I was finding them in. Here you can see there's actually like a little bit of green and stuff. A lot of it was just like rocks and then leaves. So there is someone that disagrees with me that leaves are mostly what they really need to survive. I would say that based on what I've read and based on where I'm finding them, that definitely seems to be the case. All the gravid females, like, you would think, if you're about to hatch out a bunch of babies, right, you're going to hang out where there's a food source. And a lot of the gravid females I was finding were in a pile of leaves with not really much else around them. So I think, leaves and the biofilm on the rocks and stuff. I mean, you can see there's a lot going on here. You could definitely find some food. Definitely. I think I caught one. I'm looking for a specific species of isopod, by the way. I'm not going to spoil it. Here I found a dead scud, and kind of like, it was along the side of where the water was flowing, but it was kind of like a pocket. Like, it kind of like curved off and then did a spiral, and there's like a little pocket where water was like getting stuck in. What are we looking at here in my tanks? What can I call you other than in my motherfin tanks? You can call me Verse. You can call me Tanks. Some people call me Nick. I think people call me Verse. That's my other alias. You call me Tanks. I kind of like Tanks too. That's kind of funny. Call me whatever you want, man. So there's a deceased scud. It was just kind of interesting. That I found a dead scud. I've actually found a few dead scuds and isopods though. So, they do just die in nature too. It's not just your tanks that you find, or in my tanks that you find dead things. So yeah, this is a deceased scud. Swear words typer. I swear verse. Yeah, I have another persona in my verse. He prefers NPC. Don't fucking call me NPC, Nick, bro, please. I swear to God. But yeah, Salient. I was out looking. I told a story about how I lost my phone, getting stuck in quicksand, looking for aquatic isopods. Now I'm showing some footage of me actually finding aquatic isopods without suffering any losses. But I didn't have a phone, so it was harder to capture some things, because like I gotta put stuff down and pull out the camera, and I can't do everything on the camera with one hand all the time. I think I'm trying to show somewhere in this frame. It was hard to film because again I was filming like with one hand. There were giant scuds here. Like there were like Neocaridina sized scuds everywhere in this area. Like every freaking rock that I touched, giant scuds coming out. But there were smaller ones too, and I don't know if they were younger scuds or if those were a different species. Did you add googly eyes onto the scud? No, I did not. So you can kind of see. Look at all the mome. Look at all that mome, and I found a huge. Now, again, we're gonna have to. I want to try and identify. I couldn't catch this guy because I was trying to film him, and for some reason, when I put the camera down, I lost track. I lost track of where he was right now. And let me put in the Discord real quick that I'm going over this stuff, just so people know. Going over footage of some isopods I found. Okay. Chat, let me ask you this. Let's see. Yuck, dead scud. You don't want to eat it? My scuds are definitely the size of Neocaridina. See, I've only had the small scuds. If convicts have babies, are the babies called inmates? Yo, someone put Dad to bed. Your Dad, you've had enough. We've had enough. Come on. Okay, this guy was significantly bigger than any other isopod that I saw. And you see he does have a cool little copper pigment back there. And look at those endopods. Look how fucking thick those are. So I thought this was a male. I don't know. Like when I tried to find him again, I found a gravid female, and I don't know if it was the same isopod or not. And you know what's interesting? Because of how Conrad's black pods have like the clear legs. Like look at how some of the legs here are clear, and some of them aren't. I just think that's interesting, just how the pigment shakes out. I mean, shrimp are like that too. Now, the audio for this, like, bro, look at this shot. This is incredible, bro. I'm sorry, I was so excited. Like when I was filming this, I was like, bro, this is fucking it, bro. This is incredible. So again, like, if I ever find these guys again, get better pictures, microscope, I want to try and identify them and make like a standalone video on it. So don't spoil it for people, okay? Don't spread this. This is an exclusive for the live audience. So I don't want to hear it when the footage ends up in an actual video one day. But I don't make videos very often, so I'd be scooping those isopods up left or right. I don't know anything about these pods and pads. I keep fish. We keep fish too, bro. These are what your fish are eating in the wild. They're a big part of fish diets. Some papers I read, like there are populations of fish that do significantly worse, like are less productive when the isopods are absent from their waterways. So I'd be scooping isopods left and right. I'm trying to like be responsible about collecting. So before I really go collecting, I'm trying to get better at finding stuff, getting better at not being grossed out by everything, and like my hands are literally like cracking because I've washed them so much recently. But if you're into the aquatic isopods, like this to me is just like incredible. So of course, trying to film with one hand, not the smoothest, but you can see that he's like got a very cool coloration here. Again, these are such distinct, like I can already tell they're totally different from mine. Like my isopods, Europods look nothing like this, you know. Let me go back so we can see his head again before he literally buried it in the sand. You can't just bury your head in the sand, bro, to solve all your problems. Like, come on. Do I even... Maybe I don't get a clear shot of his head. But he's trying so hard to dig. Then he just kind of stopped moving for a while. I was like trying to get different, because I'm thinking about it for a video too. So I'm trying to get like enough usable footage of each, like one far away shot, one close up shot, one super close up shot. Like if you want a trick for like cinematic filming stuff, a lot of movies are filmed with one camera. They they don't like have multiple cameras and like the actor does one thing and you get both. Like a lot of films is one camera. They film the guy from far away reaching out his hand. Then they film him from slightly closer reaching out his hand. Then they film him up close reaching out his hand. Like you could spend a whole day on one shot because they film each different angle, acting it out again and again and again with the one camera. Um, who's gonna send me pads, bro? We only do pods here. Pizza has got to go. Fattening delicious. I have plenty of pads. He's like a dispenser. God damn, bro. Is he digging in backwards? No, no, no. That is forwards. That is forwards. I couldn't get the shot of his head. I'm just gonna call him Nice because my phone changed Nick to Nice every time. Don't feel like the fight. Totally fair. So you see, I think this is a male just because I didn't see any with like. But then again, the other day I was looking at some isopods I didn't get footage of, but I found some in another place. Still not the species I was looking for. Here is a gravid female that I found. I mean, look at that, bro. I don't think that she was dead. Like, she was still kind of moving, but maybe she was a little stressed. Isopods that I keep, like, sometimes the females, when they're gravid, they do have a hard time. But, like, look at that. Look at all those eggs, bro. We probably see 50 eggs right here, you know? So that's why I tell people, they're like, how many do you need to start a colony? I'm like, look, for one gravid female has a lot. Has a lot of eggs. And you can see up in this corner, the scud. Oh, there he goes. I think I filmed everything in 60 FPS, so let me see if I can go ahead and just put all the clips in slow-mo real fast. Jeff, you have plenty of pass. Only the pods with wings. You know what? I'm not even reading these. I'm not even reading the chat. You guys are just, you're on some shit, bro. But yeah, the scud, he wanted nothing to do with the scuds are so weird because like they really do be like laying on their side so much. And then look. And just as a note, from now on, all the footage is in slow motion, so things look slow. That's why. So let's actually go back and look at that guy digging in a little slowed down. So look at that. And you see that I wonder if that's why his back legs are so much longer. I mean, I think the leg length usually has to do with holding. So that's another reason I thought it was a male, because he had really long middle and back legs, which I feel like would be useful for the guarding behavior when they're like holding the female underneath them. But I mean, look how he slinks in. But yeah, see, she was still moving a little bit, but she just seemed like not in the best condition. Gay Fanner says, you're doing such great work. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'll keep reading the chat. I'll keep reading the chat just for that. So this is I think is a dead isopod I found. I just thought it was interesting. It was like right along the side on a big rock, almost near the surface. And you can see it's covered in, you know, all sorts of biofilm and molding over. So it's been dead for a bit. But you can see, and I think this isopod could be a different species. And maybe the species I was actually looking for, but I was on a time constraint because since I don't have a phone, it's hard for me to get to these places without directions. And Jessica was my driver, and she had a hair appointment, and I was limited in time. So, you know, it's Jessica's fault that I couldn't continue my... Bro, I was getting so excited because I was finding so many goddamn isopods, you know. Just making me so mad I lost my... Bro, I have no phone. I was finding so many, but not the species I was looking for. But then I found this dead one, and look. The legs are different. The Europod is much shorter. Now, it could just be like a female or some kind of sex difference. But to me, this looked like a dead isopod. And I feel like it could have been a different species. And maybe the one I was looking for. We don't need him getting a bit ahead. Okay, have a good time at work, Temperate. Thank you for checking in. So, here you go. A big clump of leaves that I kind of dragged from the edge. And look at that, bro. Look how many isopods were in there. So I think we can obviously see 3. And let's take a closer look. Also noting like the pigment on the legs is interesting. Also got the big thick endopods, but now we get actually to see the face some. So you kind of see that face. The antenna are kind of short. Maybe. Europod's pretty thick. The legs are pretty thick. I don't know what, species it is yet. Maybe we'll get into theorizing about that if I have some clear enough shots. This is, again, just trying to get a shot of them. They can move a little bit better out of water than my isopods. But, I mean, look at how fucking beefy their legs are. Like, I definitely think they're a bit better at grasping onto things like the side of the rocks. And, again, they're in water that it's not... There are some parts of the water that are, like, pretty fast-moving and rapid-like. And I did 1 or 2 times when I disturbed an isopod. It definitely got washed away. So, yo, check out the eyes on the scud. What the hell? Or I think that's eyes. So you can see the leaves. People always ask me, like, can you put isopods with scuds? And I say, well, from what I've read, in nature, they occur together. Now I could say, every time I found isopods in nature, that I've also found scuds. A lot of scuds. Way more scuds, really. Yo, Glassbox, what's up, bro? How's it going? Those look similar to the isopod in flowage near me. I'm not surprised. I think when I identify these, they'll be a very... In England, our isopods have very long back legs, but not involved with mating class. Okay. No, see, that's what I was literally about to say. That, these guys look way... Because people selling isopods here often list them as a Selus aquaticus, which I don't think is extremely common since those are endemic to the UK. But these guys look the most like a Selus aquaticus that I've seen, just because they also have those long middle legs and back legs that the UK pods do. I'm not a scud lover, bro. I don't like the scuds. But my other theory on the long back legs was gonna be, when you see him when he was burrowing himself, like you kind of saw like how he was using those long back legs to push him further and further in. So I think that if it's not involved in mating clasping, then that would be my theory on those, as it helps them like push themselves deeper into the rocks or whatever, because you kind of see how they just like drag behind them really when they're walking around. So yeah, look at that scud, bro. Look at how the scuds, if I pulled the leaf out of the water, the scuds would get back to the water in like a couple seconds. Like they'd shimmy their way back into the water. Yo, what's up, Poto Bird? Yeah, you're really late, bro. You gotta check the VOD for the full story. You missed a little bit of iSpot, but you're seeing the best parts. So you're totally wrong about the leaf thing, by the way. I definitely think leaves is one of their main food sources. That should be all they need. So I want to go back just because I want to look at their face. I do think it would be fun to theorize on species and stuff. I feel like the claws, the Europods, and the face is like some of the best things to look at. But again, I don't know if I found any males for sure. But look at the like fringe hairs on the outline of them. And again, like how beefy their legs are. It's crazy. I'm not surprised they can move this well out of water at all. Why is he not in the fish room? I'm on the road. You're gonna need to rewind and double time it. You'll never understand NPC Nick. Bro, you're not stop. Bro, I'm not even I'm never saying that out loud. Oh my god. I'm not giving any more light. But yeah, check out every single time I found isopods, also found scuds. Every single time. So you can see also got the big beefy legs, Europods, and look at that. It's kind of interesting, the antenna, like when they're out of the water. Look at that. It's not really moving them or using them at all. But there it is, kind of, but it's just interesting here. Just kind of set it on. I wonder if that's like so nothing thinks it's a worm and comes and picks it, or I don't even know. But this is more of just showing the environment that I'm finding them in. So kind of like a rocky shoreline on a stream that goes into a river. And like the water was not still at all where I was finding them. Some places it was moving more than others. Like here it's a little deeper, so if you're underneath you want to get water. But a lot of places it was more shallow. So like if I did disturb, and the isopods got kind of got exposed, they got washed away a little bit. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't call this still water at all. And here you see one of the more rapid areas. We're seeing, just if someone's just listening, water's kind of going by fast, and on the side you see all bunch of fallen leaves and branches kind of slowly sliding into the water, like they're hanging over. And that's some of the places I found isopods, but I also just found them in the rocks here. And every single rock almost had a scud. I'll say the scud to isopod ratio, as far as like the rocky areas, it was like 3-to-1 scuds to isopods. That looks so clean. Yeah, it actually, the water did seem pretty clean. So I had an easier time not washing my hands a billion times, because even the other place, like it was literally spring water in one place. And the one species I'm looking for, I think I'll find it in the spring. But yeah, the water was pretty clean so far every place that I found them. They're nowhere near as long as ours. I agree about leaves, dead ones. Yeah, I think dead leaves is basically what they eat in the wild. And again, the places that the highest concentration of gravid females were on these like leaf piles on the side and rocky areas like this, closer to the surface. And there's pretty much not much else around. Like not maybe some like algae or plants, but I think yeah, biofilm and leaves. That's all you really need for them. That's been my experience, and that's seems to be what's going on out here. And yeah, pretty clean. I mean, molmy, silty bottom, but I was pretty happy. There was like another waterway nearby that looked disgusting. I didn't even check it. So again, I turn over some of these rocks, and these places, mostly I turn them over closer to the edge, but I did find at least one isopod further out. So I don't know if they prefer the edge or if I just wasn't going out enough. But I didn't find as many as the leaf piles. Like in the leaf piles, they were all like close to each other. Here it'd be like one under one rock, one under another rock, and then scuds going over. But there were some isopods in the places like this. Let me make sure. All right. Let me go back to see if I got a good view of the one that was digging around. And were you saying the antenna were a lot longer than yours? Because that's one thing I had a question about. So this is one that I found further up. This was I'm pretty sure this was a gravid female. 1 second. I gotta check the chat because Jeff is always talking shit. Damn, seemed like I missed a lot. He was trying to plant his apple food seeds so he could grow an apple food tree. You know what? Lovely, clear, moving water. They probably eat surface growth plant. What? I mean, from what I've read, it's mostly biofilm, decaying leaves, and like bacteria and like kind of fungus stuff. Haven't seen anything about them with the small animals or live plants, really. But dying plants, yeah. But then again, now that we're getting into species and identifying stuff, but see, do you think this is the same sex, same species of the? Because like, look at the antenna on this one. Look how long it is. I feel like it looks longer. Like I feel like this isopod looks different than the other ones. So I don't know if it's a different sex or what, but I mean, like, does this not look different to you guys, or am I just crazy? Microworms. I mean, who wouldn't want to eat microworms? I can't tell if this looks the same. I mean, it's in the same like waterway, just a little bit further up, but some things about it kind of look different to me. This was before I actually put it in 60, so the slow-mo isn't slow-moing exactly. But I need to get some clearer footage and stuff. But I guess the main thing I would like to guess at is the genus. Lursius, or the other one I can't even pronounce. Wait. I'm trying to get a clear shot of one of their heads. So I know the one I found on the rock. It's just so covered in like mold. It's hard to see the details of things. So that's why I'm trying to get to where I found that big pod. Okay. This might be it. This might be one where we can determine something a bit more. I'm playing it in reverse. He's not walking backwards. Okay. Let me find a good frame. All right. So here we see, I feel like we get a pretty good view of some of the features here. Pretty good view. Look at these little branches. They look pretty crazy. I just can't get over those back endopods, how thick they are. So so great. They just look so different. Having those longer back legs changes everything. Use iNaturalist, check your location. Yeah, there's some the spottings of isopods around where I'm at. Like some of the IDs weren't really. They didn't like actually try. But the location I was at, there weren't any listed observations of them here. And just judging from the variation, like when I'm looking at sightings, like I don't think I could safely just assume they're the same as whatever was like kind of close. He likes them thick, he likes them chunky. Thick with 2 C's, my friend, you spelled it wrong. Most times species without compete if they're con-specifics. It's possible. I still think that deceased one I found might be a different species. But the one that I was looking for, but it could just be wishful thinking. It could be wishful thinking. I do a lot of that. Like someone will find my phone and call me. Yeah, a gopher will find my phone. A worm with a conscience. I'm trying to get back to the footage of the big guy. Or girl, I don't actually know. Yeah, I know someone said all their scuds were the size of Neocaridina for them, but honestly, I've never seen the bigger scuds in my tank. So it was kind of crazy going in H. This is the deceased scud. Their eyes do look... I didn't realize their eyes like had the little dots and stuff like that. I hate scuds, bro. They're disgusting. They disgust me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, scud lovers. Giant scuds, not something I'm interested in. Neo-sized scuds, still too much. I don't want any scuds. I don't want no scuds. A scud's an invert that don't do nothing for me. Lurcius, perhaps? That does seem to be a popular one around here. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost to the big guy or girl. Oh, this is the scud I was trying to film. So see up here? I was trying to get him, but I was having a hard time finding it when I was looking through the camera. But it was just so brightly colored. Probably from eating the algae or something nearby. With the green and the red. Pretty crazy. I'm trying to find it. I actually, even though I'm filming it right now, I don't see it. Like, that's what I'm trying to film. But yeah, look how, like, bright green and red the scud is. Pretty crazy. And then, again, everywhere I found isopods, I also found scuds. This one, I lost him. I was trying to get him so I could take closer photos. But I lost him. He escaped. And he did have that kind of unique copper flecking at the back. And I still want to know why some legs are pigmented and others aren't. 11 people liking, only 9 likes. Let's fix that. Oh, that's because there's 20 dislikes. Mine are small locally. Some are blue, green, and most are gray. With the scuds? Yeah. And I did see some of the small blue ones. So do different species of scuds occupy the same place? Oh, what the? Look at that. That little sea shrimp. Look at that little thing go by. Woo. What the hell? That's why, I wish I had more time and some help, because then I could be able to film more. Because even just having the ability to film up close in the field like this, and it's not like a microscope, but if I do it right, it's a high enough resolution and clear enough. Like, we've been able to zoom in and see, like, pretty decent levels of detail in some of these shots. But yeah, that's my theory about the long back legs, is so he can better dig himself into places. So could be Lurcius, but I don't know. The Europods are so crazy and they're so fuzzy. Lurcius seems pretty diverse though. And also, I'm starting to realize, I mean, the name, oh, look at that. Look at that Cyclops up here. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. This is things that, like, I didn't even notice when I was filming. But now that in hindsight, we get to see, like, all the little stuff that's in the water here. So on the right side, we're seeing this Cyclops. It looks pretty beefy. Everything here is beefy. Yeah, the plates are cool. Little fuzzy fuzz. Again, this copper coating is kind of interesting. I think I read something about uric acid. But I just thought that this footage was so cool. Bro, I was like nerding out when I was able to capture just an isopod actually in its environment, underwater. And I thought this might be a male, but I wasn't able to confirm because I lost him. So, I don't know. I'm Lean Lurcius. Evening, mate. Sorry for the delay. My Amazon packages came, so I had to deal with them. Oh my goodness. I hate that. But the booty spots, Casey, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the spots are necessarily diagnostic. Also, like, what I was saying is, I believe the name for, like, Cassidota, or Ceccidota, however the hell you want to say it, I believe that has something to do with cave dwelling, like, in the meaning of the name. So we might find that, like, almost all of the isopods that we're seeing in the open in these environments, like, maybe a lot of them are Lurcius, And maybe we'd have to go somewhere different to find Casey. I don't know. I mean, mine have some of these, and I'm starting to think that mine are Lurcius, so I don't know. There's so many species undescribed. There's so many different, like, that's the one reason why I want to kind of do more of this, and again, eventually do an independent video on each species I'm able to find identify, is because there's so many of them. Like, we can't just assume like, oh, this all aquatic isopods eat this, or like, there might be a species that looks similar, but has totally different needs, requirements, and diet. I mean, I don't know how likely that is, but it's possible. So, definitely much longer legs than my isopods, and much longer middle legs, back legs, and every single thing that I was able to confirm was a female. Like, all were gravid, and I definitely think it was a good time to be doing this. And just look at how many eggs are there, bro. Now, one note about this one. Let's look. We can see the antenna size a little bit, so it does seem a little shorter, but I gotta get some clearer footage of some other graphules. Also, look, missing a endopod here, so maybe some. And this one, I don't know. She wasn't dead, but she did seem like, I've seen gravid isopods like this in my own tanks, where they basically kind of slowly die like this. So it was interesting seeing deceased scuds and isopods in nature, because it kind of gives me, when I'm recognizing like a gravid female that seems to be dying in a similar way that I've seen in my own tanks, I kind of like, okay, what stuff am I doing to them, and what stuff are things that happen just in general to non-cave waterways. Yes. At what point is it a color morph versus species? I find masses of isopods around dead fish. Yeah, I have had a fish die in an isopod tank, and they definitely did a good, like, bro, they were like crawling inside of its mouth. Yeah. Except for because we have Cassiodota that were added to the area. Oh wow. I find massive. Bro, you gotta get. I want to get footage of isopods around dead fish locally. Bro, you guys send me that. That'd be awesome to see. At what point is it a color morph? And yeah, the color is not really that important for the species. It's more about, like, their claws, I guess, around their mouths and stuff have teeth on them that could be diagnostic. Their head shape can be diagnostic, or part of it. A lot of the keys are on head shape. Like I think it's the 4th and 7th pleopod pairs, which are their legs. And then, yeah, like I said, the first pair with the claws, and then the endopods, the length of those, and the antenna are all things that the keys I read commonly look at. And then, again, this is the deceased one that I think could be a different species, and the main reason is hopeful thinking, because I was looking for a specific species, and I think that just because its legs seem a lot different, they're a lot thinner. The body shape was a lot different, in my opinion. And yes, I know it's been dead, so it could be like a little bloated or whatever. Like, I understand the delusion in my thinking, but like, it looked different to me. I saw dead isopods, maybe not this like moldy or whatever. Like, look at the legs. Tell me that those legs don't look different. I think they do. I think that this endopod here looks different to me. Again, not the best samples, not the best image, but so that is an example of a successful trip to get them isopods. So, sorry, I missed a bunch of texts. Not having a phone and just having the laptop, like, I'm constantly missing stuff. But yeah, guys, this is just a hint of what's to come. Hopefully, I'll make an independent video. Like, I want it to be a series, like uh, aquatic isopods of North America, and I'll go and find some, film their natural environment a bit, talk about like we've done here, but in a more thought out way. Maybe we try to ID them. Like, this is much different than that deceased one. I'm sorry, bro. I think they're different, but that's just my opinion. Again, wishful thinking. But they could occur in the same area if they have like different niches. Like if one likes the fast water and the other one doesn't. That's a good point. I found papers between research teams arguing if antlers are in their own species or variety of guppies. I would guess it's more of a pain with isopods that can be a slightly different shade. Yeah. Unfortunately, that video didn't save. The fish was on the edge of the water and isopods were going in and out of the water. I'll try to re-upload the wild. Oh, we'd love, bro, please. We would love to see wild isopod footage. I'll watch it on stream and make all 11 of us subscribe and like I still see them as the same, but treat them like they're not. Okay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And I guess the cautionary tale of the whole quicksand thing is like, look, if you're gonna go collecting, one, don't just mindlessly step on things that look like solid ground if you're in an area with saturated soil and stuff like that. Like, you know, quicksand or quicksand like stuff exists in nature around us. So just be aware of that. It's not really that dangerous like in the movies or whatever, like from what I understand. Like I don't think it's, but there are definitely ways you could get stuck in it for sure. Just, you know, be careful, share your location, keep your phone in a secure like pocket that it can't fall out of. That is important. Keep it charged, secured, so you can't lose it. Like I wouldn't carry it loose. I'd have it like in like a zipped pocket or something would be good, I think. Because you don't want to be out there, and especially if you don't have directions and have to rely on the kindness of strangers. And from what I experienced, most people just don't want to deal with it. So, yeah, that was basically what I had to talk about today. Let me look into the chat. I'll just run the footage. I'll let the footage play while I just read the chat for a bit, and then I gotta go get some food and pick people up from their appointments. But I'm really excited. I found some isopods in the wild and got some footage of them. I deleted it about a year ago, but it's all on my phone. We have a muck locally referred to as loon shit. It can be bottomless. Jeez. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like the mucks, kind of like the yeah. So there's some like muddy. It's like it's not quicksand is like a bad word because there's stuff that is very similar, but it's more like muddy looking. You know, it's like loose sediment. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna go out exploring, and if you're an idiot like I am, and hopefully that's the last time something like that happens to me. What the hell, bro? Why is there a landline phone down here? This is insane. People live like this? Okay, well, that scared the crap out of me. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what style pizza I want. Chicken pesto pizza? Oh, buffalo chicken pizza. That's what I want. Oh, man. What about chicken alla vodka pizza? What do people think about buffalo chicken ranch? I think I want barbecue chicken. I'm probably too late though, because I missed the text asking my flavor. Shit. Well, guys, I am in Pennsylvania. Oh wait, I've been there. Same goes for walking across a marsh/bog made of moss and shrubs. There could be 20 feet of water below you. Precisely. Very good lesson. Please, like, get a big stick or, I don't know, a rope with a weight on it. Whatever you gotta do, just be careful. Even if you don't get hurt, like, bro, no one wants to lose a phone. Okay. No one wants to lose belongings or get injured. You know, twist an ankle, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of levels of inconvenience to encountering one of those things unexpectedly, and it's just not worth chancing it. Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm hoping to make it to the ALC, the Aquarium Club of Lancaster swap at that fish place tomorrow. I'm hoping to be able to stop by. If I can get some pictures or videos of the fish there, the vendors, then I'll definitely come on stream, talk about the event, and show people kind of what is at these things. If you've never been to a swap or something like that. Holy clickety clack, that's 140 words per minute. Yeah. Because also people locally that can't make it, you know, they still like to see all their favorite vendors and stuff and what they brought. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do that. Thank you so much. My first live chat ever. So good with isopod nerds, even more into them than me. I mean, you seem relatively into them. I appreciate the insights into what you're seeing here and the ones across the pond. That's pretty cool, especially since, like, Acellus aquaticus is one of the more researched, I feel like, ones out there. So glad you're able to make it to the first live chat. Next one will probably be more about fish. I got a lot of fish breeding projects I want to share with you guys and some footage. I got some scarlet baddis fry I'm trying to get some footage of, and some other fun stuff that I won't spoil, but I'm trying to incorporate more fish and fish breeding stuff into it. It's just I got to breed the fish a couple times before I even try and... I don't really know much. I can't really share much knowledge. I've only spawned it once or twice, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get some pizza. Thank you so much for joining me in the middle of your day, or if you're in another place, maybe it's the evening, whatever time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this footage of isopods and just kind of the observations is informative to someone, helps someone understand taking care of their own, is useful in any way. If you got any... I need to hit up the save. Someone told me I need to look up the Save a Spring people, and that they have like there's some books with updated information with keys and guides to isopod species. Sounds like a holy grail. I need to find that stuff. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to film. Perfect. Then that's what I'll do, and I'll get to highlight all the vendors. That sounds good. And the fish. I'm curious what fish you bring. I'm very curious. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. If anyone knows anything about those field guys or knows anyone that works in these fields that would find this interesting, feel free to share it with them. We always love finding people that actually know what they're talking about. So, you know, get back into the Galaris game. I'd take notes. I am hoping to do that, actually. I am hoping to do that. If I can get any Galaris, I will do them again. Because I made like 60. I oversold. Then I was like, oh, this other guy's breeding them. It'll be fine. And then now I have no dwarf red Galaris. So I definitely want to... I got to redeem myself. Them and the Gabroid and Scabrants. But okay, guys, I'm going to go get some food. I'll catch you later. If you missed it, go back. I tell the whole story about the Quicksand. And then, you know, you get to see beginning and end of these isopods. Comment any thoughts. If you're an expert, tell me how dumb I am. Please stay safe. Location on when you're exploring. collect responsibly or just observe responsibly, leave things in as good or better condition as how you found them, and hopefully we will be able to hang out soon. Okay, and my tanks versus Nick, not NPC Nick, out.